Early this morning, there was a dramatic explosion in Pulwama in South Kashmir. Thankfully, it wasn't a terror attack, but it well could have been, because the vehicle containing the bomb that was detonated in a controlled manner had been intercepted by security forces. And the details coming out suggest that this was a Jaish-e-Mohammed planned attack, or an attack attempt, very similar to the one in Pulwama just 15 months ago, if you remember, that killed 40 CRPF Jawans. Here's the full detailed story. A deafening, ear-splitting blast, followed by thick, billowing smoke. There's nothing left of the vehicle. An innocent white Santro with a fake number plate. And the unraveling of a suspected Jaish-e-Mohammed Hizbul Mujahideen plot. Make no mistake, this vehicle was definitely on a suicide mission. Perhaps identical to the Pulwama attack in February last year. A vehicular attack on a convoy that killed 40 CRPF Jawans. An attack that led to the Balakot airstrikes 11 days later. But first, how was this latest terror attempt averted? It started off with an intercept by the Jammu and Kashmir police 5 days ago. A joint team of the army and police began tracking the vehicle. Finally spotting it in the Shadipura area of Pulwama, the vehicle's sinister intent was immediately confirmed. The car was driven by Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists who fired at the forces when challenged and escaped under cover of darkness. The car was strategically located for a possible quick dash to a strike zone, possibly the highway connecting Pulwama and Srinagar. Sinisterly, the Santro's license plate belonged to a two-wheeler registered to owners in Katwa. A joint team of the army, Pulwama police and CRPF began searching the car. Inside the Santro, the improvised explosive device was placed in a blue drum. The car was taken to an open area, villages around evacuated, and the vehicle bomb detonated.
खास करके जैश मोहम्मद हरदम प्रयास करता रहा है कि बड़ा सा सेंसिटिव अटैक करे, सेंसेशनल। ये लोग भी प्रेशर में है कि और ये लोग जो नए लीडरशिप इनका है, ये चाहता है बड़ा हादसा करके और ये दिखाना चाहे नैरेटिव पे है कि मिलिटेंट का अपर हैंड है, जो हम लोग नहीं होने देंगे। जंगे बदर के दिन हम लोग काफी अप्रेहेंशन में थे कि ऐसा अटैक कर सकता है, लेकिन उस टाइम हम लोग बहुत प्रिमिटिव में चल रहे थे। ऑपरेशन भी बहुत तेजी के ला दिए थे, कॉर्डन सर्च चल रहा था, तो उस टाइम ये लोग नहीं कर पाया था।
While the devastating 2019 Pulwama suicide attack was mounted by Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Adil Ahmed Dar, security forces suspect the latest attempt is courtesy an individual named Waleed Bhai, a Jaish-trained Pakistani IED expert. Forces recently had a brush with Waleed Bhai when he managed to escape in the Kulgam encounter earlier this year. While Waleed Bhai is believed to have been the bomb mastermind, sources tell India Today that local support was provided by a Hizbul Mujahideen member named Adil. In 2019, the terrorists managed to strike. This time they were stopped, perhaps at the last minute. But with the masterminds at large, they won't stop trying. With Shujaul Haq in Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today. And take a look at this 5-point comparison that shows you the eerie similarities with what has been averted today and what was successfully carried out by the Jaish-e-Mohammed 15 months ago in this very same area, the Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir. Take a look at this comparison. The vehicle used in 2019 was a Maruti Eco van. Today it was a Hyundai Santro, so both small vehicles. The explosive used in 2019 had a mass of 80 kilograms. Today it was 40 to 45 kilograms, so about half of last year's amount. The suicide driver in 2019 was Jaish-e-Mohammed local Adil Ahmed Dar in 2020. Today's attack, not known just yet, but there are some suspects. The mastermind in 2019 was a man called Abdul Rashid Ghazi, who's a Jaish-e-Mohammed bomb maker in Pakistan. In 2020, the person, as you saw in that report, is Waleed Bhai. He's a suspected Jaish-e-Mohammed bomb expert in Pakistan. The explosive used in 2019 Pulwama attack was confirmed to be RDX. In 2020, it's suspected to be RDX, but still very much under probe. I want to go across straight to India. Today's Shujaul Haq joining us live from Srinagar, as well as Gaurav Sawant, who's been tracking the big fallout. Shuja, coming to you first. A very narrow, foiling of another terror attack. This could have very well been a Pulwama 2.0, Shuja. Yes, the amount of explosive was less, but everything else points to a almost identical modus operandi. A small car strategically placed not very far from the Pulwama-Srinagar highway. Were they trying to attack some kind of convoy? What do we know about it?
Well, that's correct, Shiv. There are eerie similarities between what has happened today and with the 2019 suicide attack on the CRPF convoy. And the fact that, so much of explosive material was found and dumped in one car in itself is huge, and it's very, very disturbing. The sources in the security forces say that they were on the tenterhooks, if truth be told, in last couple of days, because there were constant inputs coming in that there is a possibility of, a car bomb attack that could take place on the security installation or on the security forces who are deployed on the ground. So far as the target is concerned, it is very clear that it was the security forces. It could have been a convoy. It could have been, an installation which could have been around in the South Kashmir area. But security forces definitely see it as a plan to attack them. The fact that it was averted right at the nick of the time is a huge sigh of relief, but also points towards the challenge that lies ahead, with the security grid here in the valley.
I cannot imagine what would have happened if the Jammu and Kashmir police had not got that tip-off, that intelligence alert 5 days ago. Gaurav, a very elaborate operation has managed to foil what could very well have been Pulwama 2.0. What are you hearing from your sources, Gaurav, other than the fact that this is proof that the what are you hearing from your sources, Gaurav, other than the fact that this is proof that the Jaish-e-Mohammed is far from deterred? All through of last year, we've heard of how they're trying to remobilize and recuperate after the Balakot airstrikes. This shows they're going back to their old school ways, even possibly an identical attack like the Pulwama one.
Shiv, that is what intelligence agencies are saying. The idea was to target a CRPF or an army down convoy going from Srinagar to Jammu. That is where this vehicle was very close to the national highway. And the intelligence was precise that this vehicle would be crossing a Naka. It was stopped at Naka number 1 near Pulwama. It dodged that Naka. An alert was sent out to the second checkpoint or Naka. At the second checkpoint, the security forces opened fire and they fired at the tire of the Santro. It was night. The two people, we are told, one was a Pakistani, the other perhaps a local. They managed to get out of the car and run into the forested area before going into one of the houses there. 25 houses in that entire area had to be vacated this morning when the ID in a controlled explosion, was diffused. 15 meters, the vehicle went in the sky. Just imagine, God forbid, had it hit another vehicle, whether of the army, the police or the CRPF, it would have been catastrophic. But Shiv, look at how Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan for the past 15-20 days has been talking about a false flag operation.
Yes.
Connect the dots is what agencies say, that first they raise the bogey of a false flag, then they clear an attack, then intelligence agencies have intercepted certain phone calls, and very soon, whether it's Waleed Bhai, the person who's supposed to have rigged this together, or the local terrorists in Pulwama, where these explosives were brought together in a vehicle, apparently there are raids that are going on even as we speak, Shiv, to neutralize those terrorists.
I'm glad you talked about the Pakistani playbook of, calling this a false flag operation even before the operation was even foiled. That is typical Pakistan. Gaurav and Shuja, thank you very much for joining me, gentlemen, for the moment. I'm going to go straight into my face-off now. Joining me live from Pakistan is Qamar Cheema, very well-known strategic and political analyst. And also with us is Colonel Rohit Dev, who is a veteran of the army and one of India's best-known strategic affairs and security analysts. Welcome to you both, Qamar. Good to have you back. Thanks for being with us. Qamar, you know, I'm going to save you some time now. I'm going to save you some time because we've seen the Pakistani Prime Minister, as Gaurav just said, saying false flag, false flag, false flag, false flag, false flag for the last 11 days, Qamar, which basically means that Imran Khan either knew something or he had an inkling कि Jaish-e-Mohammed कुछ करने वाला है. Let me get my insurance activated right now so that I have a post-facto denial. Qamar.
Well, I think I remember when the Pakistani intelligence services had the information, we informed the Indians whenever we had the actionable intelligence. But I think India has changed the master plan. Earlier, what India used to do in this was that you people or the Indian deep state used to target its own men so that they could have this opportunity or they could have this political mileage. The BJP could have this political mileage to create, to have the skirmishes at the LOC or to come into the cross-border attack.
So you're saying
that
it's
is
a false flag operation.
Prime Minister Imran Khan, let me finish the argument. That is why Prime Minister Imran Khan was saying, we foresee the false flag operation. So the change in plan is that this attack, which has this car or this van has not damaged anyone, no infrastructure, no men, no soldier, just an explosion. So I think Pakistan's hunch or Pakistan's view was right.
Okay, Pakistan's hunch was right, says Qamar Cheema. Colonel Rohit Dev, what do you think about this? I mean, I find it highly suspicious that Imran Khan had all his bases covered right in the run-up to this particular, interception operation. Colonel Rohit Dev, what do you think?
Very politely, Shiv, I would like to say that Imran Khan per se has become a SOB story in diplomacy, and he can go no further. He has been a sellout to the terrorism, which is the bread and butter of his political establishment and also his military. So there is nothing going to come from there. It is just the beginning of the season, Shiv. And this false flag operation, like you have rightly pointed on, so has Gaurav, it has gone around for a last couple of weeks, and expect more. Since the COVID season has started, the civilians are taking shelter at their homes. So it's primarily the sustenance of the military which is going on in terms of beefing up the locations, re-changing locations, winter stocking going on. So likelihood is that they will at ease try to interact and also have an attack on military columns now. Last time in Pulwama, it was a soft target CRPF. Now they will get more emboldened. You have seen a lot of their terrorists, so-called, various kind level of commanders. I don't want to, uplift their morale there. But these people and jokers have come out on the streets only because there's intense pressure. You imagine India has thwarted the terrorism design of Pakistan for the last about 1.5 years. The infiltration has reduced. They can't send ahead the $10 terrorists. So all the people in sleeper cells and so-called cell-style terrorists trying to take all the credit.
No, this is a sign of, absolutely. No, the point that you make, Colonel Dev, is a very important one, because you're basically saying that this is also a sign of Pakistani frustration, which I will come to in a moment, because they haven't been able to, land many punches since Pulwama. But Qamar Cheema, the thing is, the entire country, the entire subcontinent, the entire world is dealing with one unified problem. We all know what that is COVID-19. And, there is, speaking even very cynically, there is no politics to be played right now, because India's focus is not on Pakistan right now. We've got nothing to prove to Pakistan right now, even if we have had in the past. What kind of excuses can Pakistan make about the Jaish-e-Mohammed being responsible for this?
Well, I think, Shiv, you are absolutely right that this is the time to fight the non-traditional security and to ignore the traditional security.
So why would there be a false flag operation? Let me speak your cynical language, Pakistan's cynical language. Why would India have a false flag operation now? Please prove me, paint me a picture on that.
okay, let me tell you, I think this is not about India, but within India, we will have to pinpoint the deep state and the BJP who have been linking the freedom struggle.
No, now you're shifting the goalposts.
Who have been linking the freedom struggle with the LOC and trying to make this freedom struggle or the domestic indigenous struggle as an international issue.
Sir, I hope you know.
So Pakistan is proactive this time. So we are not letting to make the people of this entire region a scapegoat of the jingoistic policies of the Indian deep state.
The people of Jammu and Kashmir are similarly reeling under COVID-19. Sir, the people of Jammu and Kashmir are similarly reeling under COVID-19. They are not exempt from COVID-19. What do you think their priority is right now? This is Pakistan fuel. Colonel Dev, is there any defense whatsoever? Is there any escape route that Pakistan has at a time like this from responsibility for what has been foiled today?
Shiv, the bottom line is 1970s to 2020. The only policy which Pakistan is following is Brigadier Malik's creation and the general that time is the Quranic concept of warfare. And in that, now they are bluntly being countered by the world. The FATF has nailed them last time. They could only save their skin by a theater. And they are now trying to say these false flag operations only from the IW sense.
Yeah.
And they want to just try and say that they said it first. It doesn't happen in that way, Kamar Chima. Your country is so embroiled in terrorism as an instrument of state, you just cannot go back. Your political currency, your military currency, absolutely hinging on terrorism and Kashmir, and nothing else. And since 370 was repealed, for in such a flabbergasted moment, that Imran Khan does not know. He tried his begging
Imran Khan is a non-actor. Imran Khan is a non-actor, like all Pakistani prime ministers. Imran Khan is a non-actor. He is unimportant. He's a puppet insurance policy for the Pakistani ISI and the army.
India keeps involved in this entire process. That is why General has been made
and you cannot stay this
okay. Let me ask some specific questions now.
Trying to do what they're trying to do on television. It doesn't work that
Rawat.
Does Pakistan know where Maulana Masood Azhar is right now?
Things would have been different. And that is where
keep talking about
the deep state is playing.
And let me put you on your face. The money given
Okay. My viewers can't hear either of you, so let me ask a specific question.
Has got on its payroll some people.
Let me ask a specific question.
When Pakistan wants them to speak, who speak out of turn. When China wants them to speak, but it doesn't work anymore.
Let me ask a specific question.
Our media is much more smarter. Citizens are much more aware.
Let me ask a specific question.
Of Kashmir.
Let me ask a specific. Colonel, one second. Give me a chance to ask a question. Kamar Chima. Last year in February, the Pulwama attack happened. We've all heard the excuses that Pakistan has made. We all saw what happened 11 days later, etc., etc. Where is Maulana Masood Azhar now? Where is he? Does Pakistan know where he is?
Well, I think I do not represent the state of Pakistan, but I believe that he would be somewhere. I don't know about this, so what I can tell you on this.
You're saying you have no idea?
No, he's in Pakistan.
No, Kamar, with all respect, I don't think you're part of the Pakistani state, but I am simply asking, does Pakistan know where Maulana Masood Azhar is? Because as recently as February, there are news reports from your country, sir, saying that Maulana Masood Azhar is claimed to be missing, probably hiding in some bomb-proof shelter somewhere. February 2020. Your country doesn't know where the Jaish-e-Mohammed's boss is. Even China itself has gone ahead and helped in the global effort to ascribe him as a UN-designated terrorist. And your own country doesn't know where the man who heads the organization responsible for today's terror attempt is hiding. You don't even know where he is.
Well, I think this Indian mantra or this Indian rhetoric of non-state actor to be selling to the international community is not going to work, because you need to solve this indigenous.
Just tell me where Maulana Masood Azhar is. You're off the hook if you tell me where Maulana Masood Azhar is.
using all that
denying,
you are
Kamar
using
Chima.
violence,
You were the same spoken here today with me about few months back.
This is-
When you were feeling so happy that China was trying to hold your hand, and I told you, give it 2 months, the technical hold will go, and you will be exposed. And so you are. So you can't say he's a non-state actor. He's a
Okay.
Hand it over to the UN.
non-state actors,
Global
be it
terrorists.
Al-Qaeda or anyone else.
I just no. I
Rather,
want
we
to.
have been facing these non-state actors being funded by India.
Colonel Dev mentioned the FATF, which is, for viewers who may not know, the Financial Action Task Force, which is a world body that looks at terror financing, and Pakistan has been doing everything it possibly can to meet certain standards so that it doesn't enter the blacklist from the grey list that it is currently on. It tries to make sure that it does certain things. Colonel Rohit, they do certain things to, meet the minimum criteria so they are safe. I hate to repeat myself because it's a limited time show, but I feel compelled to do this. My simple question, Kamar Chima, is what credibility does Pakistan have to comment one way or the other on a terror attack that has been foiled by India when you don't even know where the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief is and are unwilling to locate him for me on a map in Pakistan?
I think the Pakistan would always say that since India is using force
That's not an
against the
answer.
civilians of the occupied Kashmir,
That's not an answer.
so the Kashmiris who are using violence as a tool.
You have a UN designated terrorist who is the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief. UN designated terrorist, including by your own ally China, and you're unwilling to tell me where he is in Pakistan because you don't know. He's hiding as a guest of the ISI somewhere. Since Balakot, he has wet his pants. He doesn't know whether to hide in Bahawalpur or in wherever else, or in Muzaffarabad. I am
These
sorry.
are young men.
I am
young
sorry.
boys
No.
fighting for their
I don't care if
You
they are
need to
young men.
listen
If they
to
pick up the gun and harm civilians, they deserve to die. And it's as simple as that. I don't care. If anybody is Pakistan trained, if anybody has taken money from Pakistan, if anybody kills women and children or burns schools and harms civilians and take human shields, then I'm sorry, they've got what's coming to them. Let's not get misty-eyed here about young men. That's not there are young men and then there are terrorists. Let's make a very even distinction between those
They
two
are not
things.
the terrorists.
I
They are the freedom fighters
no. There are
fighting for the land.
no such thing, sir. I don't even want to start about Balochistan because I'm not about whataboutery. I am simply saying. I know. The Balochistan is the easy way to hit Pakistan, but I'm not cheap like that. Let's keep this on. Let's keep this on what's happening in J&K because Balochistan is a separate topic. We'll choose another day for it. I am simply saying right now that the Jaish-e-Mohammed was hit in Balakot. I am not going to sit here pretending that Balakot finished off the Jaish-e-Mohammed. Far from it. They were energized. They have tried to recuperate in a very big way, and they are desperately trying to hit back hard. Colonel, the Jaish-e-Mohammed is one of the most volatile terror organizations of Pakistan, and they appear to be the big instrumentality. We've heard all this bakwas about the resistance front and all other such stupid, meaningless names for Lashkar-e-Taiba. But it appears that the Jaish-e-Mohammed is the spearhead.
Shiv, the intelligence network of the world is so enlarged today and the sharing is so good.
Yeah.
You can change names Pakistan and make it TRF or GRF, whatever to make it.
Yeah,
it will
ridiculous
not work. Pakistan has become a harbinger of terrorism in the world, and wherever you have terror incidents, some link leads to Pakistan, and it is not ironic. It is not ironic because the coins you are dishing out to spread terrorism are going to be exposed in
Waleed
whichever
Bhai
part
is
of the
his
world.
name.
Our problem is that you are so focused against my country that you can't even see this period of COVID and you want to still put that aside inside.
No, I'll tell you. I have specifics for you, Kamar. I have specifics for you. I have some specifics.
Kamar Chima, how many COVID cases in your country? And I will tell you why. Tell me how many.
वो तो बहुत दूर की बात है, sir. Forget that.
You have no remedy. You have no recipes.
Kamar.
Specific
question, no rhetoric. Specific question.
Don't try and sell this chloroquine to Pakistan at least.
Okay.
Why is that?
Kamar. Specific question.
You are not a doctor. You are not a virologist. So do not talk about the COVID-19.
Yeah. Let's keep COVID-19 aside. I agree. But I am simply asking you.
Against your own men.
No, amidst all this noise, let me ask a.
squads and bomb blasts in India.
Colonel,
You
allow
won't
me
help
to
your
ask a
cause.
specific question. Let me ask a specific question.
Because the army has killed their own people just to malign Pakistan.
Now-
I would have tried the Indian military.
Wonderful, very nice,
in
very
India
nice.
if I was
Okay.
an Indian Pakistan.
Now let me ask you a specific question.
Of the diplomatic
Let me-
channel spoken about Pakistan in the last 3 months.
Kamar,
What you see
specific
on your
question.
other side.
I'm almost out of time, so
Yes.
let me have the last word.
Somebody called Fawad,
Okay.
some other Chaudhary, for ranting Kashmir terrorism,
Let me-
false flag, for
Let me ask the last question.
You are not a doctor, you are not a mullah, you are not a scientist. Let's
Kamar.
talk
Okay,
why
Colonel, let me
Indian
ask a question
army
now. One second.
shot their soldiers.
One second. Let me ask a question. Kamar. Let's talk some specifics now. I am aware what Pakistan's stand is about Jaish-e-Mohammed. You've just admitted on national television that you have no idea where Maulana Masood Azhar is, and I suspect that's the same case with the state as well. I am simply asking you that the man who was investigated and whose identity has been revealed to be a man called Abdul Rashid Ghazi of the Jaish-e-Mohammed was responsible for the attack last year. And a person now, and I admit that today's investigation is very preliminary, but a person called Waleed Bhai is a Jaish-e-Mohammed bomb expert, and he's believed to be responsible for today's thing. We don't know whether he's in J&K or whether he's in POK or whether he's in Pakistan. I am simply asking you, what is Pakistan prepared to do? Are we going to hit the same stone wall of denials and accusations of false flag operations, or is there going to be even a semblance of acceptance that something needs to be done? I know it's a rhetorical question, but I have to give you a chance to answer that.
Okay. Well, I think your research needs you need to research, because Abdul Rashid Ghazi was the one who was involved in the Lal Mosque in Islamabad back in 2007. So this is Abdul Rashid Ghazi has nothing to do with the occupied Kashmir or with the any movement. But coming to the question, I would say this rhetoric of India is not going to be sold to the international community. That
It's
these
already sold.
non-state actors
You call it rhetoric, but the world buys it.
Struggle. Do not link it with the LOC, please.
Sir,
and do not make it an international issue
Can you
for the international
tell me
audience.
something? Can you tell me something? What face, Kamar, I mean, honestly speaking, what face does Pakistan have to show when it comes to a terror attack linked to the Jaish-e-Mohammed, when your own ally, I mean, I call it the ally, but China is really your master, is a country that has allowed the designation of Maulana Masood Azhar as a terrorist, the same man who runs the organization that was trying to bomb inside India earlier today, is a man who your own master China has designated as a UN terrorist. Why should anyone in the world believe you? The whole world believes India.
Well, I think the problem is that if you want that Chinese will talk about any organization, if it was working in the past in occupied Kashmir,
They
that doesn't
tried
mean
to
the
stop it
Pakistan
4
has been
times.
linked with it.
They tried to
Organizations
stop
have
it
been
4
working.
times, sir.
The freedom struggle have
Char
been
bar,
working.
char bar,
In
Kamalji.
Palestine,
4
these
times.
Organizations are working. When people do not get justice, people pick up the gun.
I want to know
this
something.
This has happened in occupied.
Colonel Rohit Dev,
Palestine.
Colonel Rohit Dev, China we know is a country that will not do any favors for anyone, and that's fine. No country works altruistically. So I'll give the last word to you. China is a country that on 4 occasions tried to block the designation of Maulana Masood Azhar as a terrorist by the United Nations. Finally, they gave in, sir. Colonel, is this a sign of India's power or India's weakness?
Two things, Shiv. Firstly, it is the power of the Indians' diplo-economic prowess in the world, which is growing. China understands that. I will not comment on the current ongoing the tussle with them. It's to our advantage. China will need a face saver now to go out from there.
Yeah.
Having said that, the issue about trying to cajole and try to pander to Pakistan's requirement earlier, that pandering is also now gone, because whatever investments and whatever infrastructure development they were looking at in Pakistan, they have initiated. They have Pakistan economically under their thumb. Pakistan will never be able to wriggle out of this economic pressure, and they know it, and they don't owe Pakistan anything on that front as well.
You wanted to isolate Pakistan diplomatically,
I'm not,
and now you have to get clarifications to the international community for your illiberal acts
I think,
outside Kashmir and even in your own
I think we have established, I wanted to do everyone a favor.
So let
Not that anyone.
yourself now.
Okay.
go on to defend a terrorist nation just because it has to owe you something.
I'm out of time.
At some point of time,
Yeah.
China's allegiance to
Told
its
anymore.
own economic growth,
Non-state
its own military growth
not
is
sellable
much
anymore.
more important
Okay.
than Pakistan and a Masood Azhar.
Gentlemen, okay, I'm out of time now. Colonel Rohit Dev and Kamal Chima, thank you. I'm completely out of time. I'm very sorry to interrupt. Very sorry to interrupt, but I'm completely out of time. I just want to say, and I'm glad that Colonel Rohit Dev also, referred to China, because that's the story that's coming up next. But I just want to say, this was to give all Indians a preview, not that we are under any delusion that Pakistan is going to admit that Jaish-e-Mohammed was involved and introspect and investigate. That's never going to happen in this lifetime. So perish that illusion. But I wanted to just make it clear to you that this is a fight that we fight alone. Nobody stands with us in it. Thank you very much, Kamal Chima and Colonel Rohit Dev. Pleasure, gentlemen, for joining me here on 5 Live. Well,